Next, we want to take a look at how to show the same distribution with two different data displays. So here we have the data on the number of deaths that occur at rock concerts, and we've shown the same data in both a histogram and a box plot. We're still looking at the SOCV, the shape, outlier, center, and variability, and you've gotten pretty good at that for histograms, where you're looking at the general shape, and you can see that it is slightly skewed to the right. Now, in a box plot, the way you would notice that is that you would see that the right whisker is slightly longer than the left whisker. So that's how you would be able to know that it was skewed to the right. Outliers in a box plot show up nicely as points or stars. Now, the star is just because this is called an extreme outlier. A regular outlier is 1.5 IQRs away from the Q1 or the Q3 value. An extreme outlier is 3 IQRs above or below the first or third quartile. So you can see the outliers as points or as stars. In a histogram, you'll see the outliers as bars that are far away from all the other bars. You might also have these gaps in here to see that. In terms of center, you'll find the center on a histogram by looking for the highest bar, which is in this area. When you look for it in a box plot, you're looking for the median, that middle bar in the box. And then in terms of variability, when you were using that in your histograms, you were looking for where the lowest bar started and where the highest bar stopped. For a box plot, you're either using the whiskers or the outliers if there are any. So on this one, there's no low outlier, so you're using the lower whisker, but there is a high outlier, so you're using that high outlier. In this next example, we'll look at how to compare different data sets using similar displays. So here we have 3 different data sets. We have the safety ratings for large, mid-size, and small cars, and we put them in a set of parallel box plots. The first thing we would look for is the shape. And remember how we mentioned how if one of the whiskers is longer than the other, that's where you see a skew. So when we look at these whiskers, the large and small whiskers look like they're about the same on both sides of their box plots, but the mid-size has a larger whisker above, and if you looked at this sideways, that would be to the right, so it's skewed right. The median, remember that's that middle bar in the middle of the box. You'll look at that middle bar and then you'll look over at the scale and you'll try to estimate where it is. So when we estimate, we can just come over and see approximately where those centers are. Outliers still again show up as the points. So again, you'll bring them over to the scale and you'll kind of estimate where those might be. In terms of IQR, remember that's where you do the third quartile minus the first quartile. So again, you would just be looking for the edges of the box and you'd be estimating what those values are and then subtracting them. So that's how we're getting these IQRs. And one thing that might stick out to you here, you'll notice that a very large part of these large cars, so this entire box plot, is all just within, not even the entire whisker, so even just part of the whisker. So we can see that the large cars overall have lower safety ratings than the small cars.